I worked 3 jobs for 2 years to save for my future. I kept the money in a box under my floorboards, hidden from everyone. But when I came home and found the box empty, I realized my own sister had traded my life for a designer lifestyle. I'm 22, and for the last 2 years, I haven't known what a weekend feels like. While my friends were at brunch or scrolling through vacation photos, I was wearing a double-shift uniform. I live in a small, drafty apartment in Ohio, and every dollar I made went straight into a wooden box hidden under the floorboards in my closet. My sister, Chloe, is 24. She's always been the golden child. She has this way of looking at you, like you're just a supporting character in her movie. She never held a job for more than a month, but she always had the newest bags, the most expensive hair extensions, and a social media feed that looked like a billionaire's daughter. My parents, they just enabled her. They called her a free spirit, while they called me the stubborn one because I wouldn't lend her money I didn't have. Chloe didn't know about the box. Or so I thought. I was saving for a down payment, a way to finally leave this town and start my own design studio. It was my secret, my literal blood, sweat, and tears. I had nearly $40,000 in there. I checked it every Sunday night, counting the bills, feeling the weight of my freedom. But lately, Chloe was around more often. She started dropping by my apartment while I was at work, claiming she forgot her charger or needed to use my printer. I started noticing small things. The scent of her expensive perfume lingering in my bedroom. A rug shifted an inch to the left. I felt a cold knot in my stomach, a whisper of intuition, but I told myself, she's your sister. She wouldn't. She couldn't. One Tuesday, I came home early. The front door was unlocked. My heart skipped a beat, then started racing. I walked softly toward my bedroom. The closet door was ajar. I knelt down, pulled back the rug, and lifted the floorboard. The box was there, but it felt light. My hands were shaking, my breath was shallow as I flipped the lid. It was empty. Not a single dollar. Just a small, torn receipt from a luxury boutique downtown. Dated yesterday. I sat on the floor for an hour, just staring at the empty wood. I couldn't even cry. I was so hollow. Every hour of overtime, every meal I skipped to save, gone. Chloe had spent my entire future on a few weeks of looking rich. I went to my parents' house, where Chloe was staying. I walked in, and there she was. She was wearing a new silk dress and a pair of heels that cost more than my monthly rent. She was laughing, showing my mom her new investment pieces. "How could you?" I whispered. My voice was trembling, but it was heavy with rage. Chloe didn't even flinch. She just looked at me, with that bored, superior expression. "Oh, stop being so dramatic, Maya. It's just money. You're young, you can make more." I had an opportunity, a high-end networking event, and I needed to look the part. "I'll pay you back eventually." My mom stepped in, putting her arm around Chloe. "Maya, don't attack your sister. She's trying to build a career as an influencer. We should support her dreams. Family helps family. Family doesn't steal." I screamed. I felt a snap inside me, the emotional peak, where the girl who played nice died. I realized then, they weren't just enabling her, they were complicit. They knew where the money came from, and they didn't care. I went back to my apartment, and I didn't sleep. I realized Chloe wasn't just a spoiled girl. She was a fraud. She had been telling everyone she won a settlement, or that she was a consultant for big brands. She was building a house of cards, and I was the one paying for the glue. I started digging. If she could steal from me, what else was she hiding? I went through her old mail she'd left at my place. I checked her public business filings, and I found the real truth. She wasn't an influencer. She was a professional scammer. She had 3 active credit cards in our parents' names, maxed out. She had been taking deposits for a clothing line that didn't exist. She was a criminal. I didn't call the police, not yet. I wanted her to feel exactly what I felt the moment the floorboard came up. I waited until her grand launch party. She had rented out a rooftop bar, using the last of my savings to pay the deposit. All her high society friends were there, and the local press. I walked in, wearing my work uniform. I didn't care how I looked. I had a flash drive and a microphone. The room went silent as I stepped onto the small stage. Chloe looked at me, her face turning a ghostly shade of white. "Maya, get off. You're embarrassing yourself." I thought. My sister was a dreamer, I said into the mic. My voice was calm, cold, and filled with the weight of my stolen years. But I realized, she's just a thief. I plugged the drive into the DJ's laptop. The giant screen behind me didn't show her brand video. It showed the bank statements, the credit card debt she'd racked up in our parents' names, the police reports from people she'd scammed, and finally, the video from my hidden security camera. The one I'd installed, showing her kneeling in my closet, pulling my life savings out of the floor. The gasps in the room were like music. The investors started walking out. The press started taking photos of her, not as a star, but as a fraud. Chloe was sobbing, begging me to stop, but I just watched. The downfall was total. Our parents were forced to face the debt she'd put them in. Chloe lost her followers, her friends, and eventually, her freedom when the deposits she took were reported as fraud. I never got all my money back, but I got my life. I moved to a new city, started small, and built my studio with honest hands. Sometimes, I sit in my new office, and I think about that wooden box. I realized the money wasn't my greatest saving. The truth was, if you believe that family should never be an excuse for betrayal, hit the like button and subscribe for more stories of revenge. Comment truth if you would have exposed her too.